Hi, afternoon. This is Binni here. Thanks a lot for joining the session. I'd like to start the session right now. For those who are with us, I need a little bit of help before I commence the session. Can you see my screen and hear me? If yes, could you just type at the chat box the 1? That's great. I can see 1 for Angela. How about the rest? Okay, that's great. All right, so let's just spend about a minute or two to wait for more people to join the session. I'd just like to know that who was with me last session. If you were with me last session, the first session, please type a 2. Okay, so I can see SKCR, Lawrence was here as well. Okay, the rest? No? Good. All right, so we have some, people who joined us last session, and then we have also new people. All right. Okay, so let's get started. As usual, I'm gonna flash the introduction slide to let you know what we are doing in today's session. So the session will be about until 12:30. If you do have any questions, please let me know at the chat box. I'll be covering my thoughts, my trade thoughts, as well as some market update. We'll be looking at the live charts and to talk about, potentially what's up with the market. And if you do have any questions, please let me know. But before this, let's go through the disclaimer. So the disclaimer is from PhillipCapital. Whatever that's presented here is solely for educational purpose and not as a financial advice. And this disclaimer is from myself, my company, TerraSeeds, and also, again, the same thing, not financial advice, not recommendation. It's purely educational. All right, so for those who know me, I'm Binni here. I've been in this line, this industry for, I think, about 20 plus years. All right, so I've traded through many different crises. The first my crisis that I had experienced was Asia financial crisis, followed by the dot-com bubble burst, and then the one on subprime, and then we have the rate cut, and then we have the rate high, and many things. Okay, so I'm also training for SGX and as well as various exchanges. I'm flying around training to do training. I have my own trading team, so I develop my own trade system. I also help the corporate, help the institutions develop their trading system also. If you need to contact me, then here's my email here. So this is my email where you can contact me should you have any issues, or you can just go to the YouTube channel and then search for my name and then leave a comment in any of the videos. Okay. All right. Now, I'll be doing a bit of a market summary and then to go through indexes, to go through Forex, and to go through gold as well. But if you do have any pairs that you like me to go through, please let me know in the chat. And I'll be also going through what I did last session, some of the very interesting stuff. And if you like to get a demo account, please, go to the website, key in, go to this page here to get a demo account. Okay. All right. So let's get started. Okay. So a few things which I want to talk about would start off with the calendar. So this is, if you are trading, you want to look at the calendar here. So this would be the calendar for this week here. All right. So we are Tuesday on the 10th of Sep. So we don't really have major news. I always look at the news, which is red color here. So we have BOC, which is the Bank of Canada, all right, to speak today. So what happened was that BOC had a rate cut, okay? And then following tomorrow, we have the CPI from US. So this should be a market moving news, because any piece of news right now from the US, right, it's going to be very important, because that's when the market is looking at US on potentially the rate cuts. Okay. But what I always think is this one here, which is ECB, because you look at what happened is always the ECB would be before the FOMC. Okay, so they always do this, all right? So the ECB will gives a little bit of the hint on the possible rate movement of FOMC, because they are, you know, big brother, small brother, right? So they always moved together, right? They will discuss and they would like, they won't be like out of sync, okay? So they will always try to move coherently. Okay, so ECB would be in focus this week, all right? So this one, take note of 12th of Sep, right? And then we really don't have much, okay, in terms of this week already. Now, what's important next week would be this one here, okay, and that would be on the FOMC. Okay, so we take note of this one here, FOMC, right? Now, talking about FOMC, okay, so that's what I want to share here. Okay, if you take a look at CME Fed Watch, where they look at the next FOMC meeting 8 days later, all right, so this would be the probability, all right, of the rate cut. Okay, so the current rate is this level here, but 71% think that there will be a 25% 25 basis point rate cut, okay? Whereas 29 think that it's going to be like a 50%, 50 basis point rate cut. Usually the numbers here, usually they are quite accurate, meaning that they do give quite a good indication of the actual rate cut. It doesn't really surprise the market, okay? So what's important is to also look at the probability now, all right, for what's going to happen in December, because most of the time the major movement will happen 3, 6, 9, 12 for Fed, right? So they only do major price moving move, right? 3, 6, 8, 12. So the next one likely to be in December if there is going to be something that's major. So you can see that the market is still pretty much not too certain, all right? But if you look at, let's say, September is going to have a 25 basis point rate cut, all right, then they are pricing in right now that in December there might be a 50 basis point rate cut, okay? Because you see that from the current rate, okay, to this one could be actually, like another 50 basis point. Okay, so yes, we are in the rate cut environment. Okay, so with this, right, I do want to talk a little bit about the dollar index. Anybody takes a look at the dollar index? Okay, so before I move to the dollar index, just to let you know that this is, let me just get my dollar index chart here. Just hang on for a while. Okay, here we go. Okay, so for dollar index, right, usually we I will key in DXY. Okay, so DXY is the dollar index here. So this is the dollar index. Just to let you know, if there is an index, right, that we observe in FX, then it will be the dollar index. Okay, so you can see that for the dollar index had been pretty flat. So what do I mean by pretty flat, right? So starting from the 2023 to now, so this level here, right, it's has been the support. Okay, so that is like the support here. So we are we are near to the support level, right? Just give me a while to do that. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we are near to the support level here. And at the same time, there is a pattern which is looking like a double bottom. Okay, so let me just get you my pen. Okay, so this is the double bottom pattern here. Okay, so double bottom is predominantly bullish in nature. Okay, bullish means that it has a chance of heading up. Okay, what's important is for price to break through what we call the neckline, which is if this is the first bottom, this is the second bottom, then in between the two bottom, all right, you draw a horizontal line. So this is going to be your neckline. Okay, so price will eventually needs to close above, okay, the neckline to show that the dollar index is likely to be bullish. Okay, so very important is that either now, okay, the market has already priced in the rate cut of 25 basis point. And if Fed is really going to cut 25 basis point, right, which also means that USD is not going to be as bad as what the market think. All right, so it might lead to believe that the dollar is likely going to head up. Okay, or if, let's say, even if Fed is to cut 25 basis point, but it gives a hint that it's going to do a little bit of aggressive rate cut. So eventually this level here, all right, is going to act as a resistance, and it might just head back down again. Okay, because the predominant trend right now, all right, that means the current trend right now, right, is still a down. Okay, even though that it is in a flattish movement here, so we see that it is a little bit of a flattish range bound movement here, but the current trend, okay, the current movement here is still a down. Okay, so let me just show it to you in terms of a line chart here. See, it is still moving down. So key to the dollar index, okay, and to a lot of dollar pairs lies in whether this level here, okay, so this level here, right, about 101.98. I would just round it up to a little bit to say that if 102, okay, that means that if 102 of the dollar index, whether it's going to act as a resistance or whether it's going to be broken upwards, is going to be the key to trade dollar pairs. So if you are trading the Forex, do watch out for the movement of the dollar index, all right, in relation to next week, what's going to happen to the rate news. Okay, so what's important is not the actual number, whether it's 25 basis points. So if it's a 25 basis point, then this is within market expectation. It's not going to move the market, but the market will be looking forward to what Powell is going to say. All right, what's the Fed implication of the future? So do watch out for the dollar index in terms of the reaction of to 102, whether it's going to break above that or whether it's going to be resisted and then come back down. And this will be very interesting to the dollar pairs. Okay, any question here? Okay, so what I've just shared, right, would be what's the market going to take a look at this week and what's going to be market moving next week. Okay, so with this, if you don't have any questions, let's come back to the few pairs that I'm looking at and the few pairs that I've covered last week. Okay, just as a continuation. I'll start off with NDX, which is the index of the Nasdaq. Okay, so if you don't want to pick up any of tech stocks, you want to trade the index, you could just trade the index. Okay, so last week what I've mentioned was that the Nasdaq was at a resistance here. Okay, and I said that we see this like a reversal pattern. Okay, so what do I mean by a reversal pattern here, right? So I said that this was a high point here, so this was a low point. So if it's gonna do like a lower high versus the previous high and to break this low, so this is a typical reversal pattern. Okay, so look out for price where it breaks, all right, this level here. So this was the level that I mentioned. It's about 19,200 to 300. And we saw that there was a long, huge bar, all right, subsequently that broke below the support level and it led to this huge movement here. Okay, so I hope that you have gotten the short with Nasdaq. Okay, so a few things to look out for. I'm not very much a moving average person, but I do put in this moving average here, which is 21 and 55 EMA. You see this 55 and this one is 21, right? To give an indication on the trend. So with this movement here, the moving averages sort of like had a bearish cross and is turning back down. So I think that for now, even if Nasdaq should retrace higher, all right, so this is an indication for a sell. Okay, that means that, or rather, this is an indication for a bearish move. So I think we need to take note of the various key resistance levels. Okay, so what are the various key resistance levels to note for Nasdaq? Now, first would be this zone here. Okay, now where is this zone here? Now this zone is given by this one here and as well as this low here, right? And it's near to 19,000. So probably looking at about 18,900. Now remember, I always either round up or round down the number. So for example, if the actual level could be 18879, so in order to make it like easier to remember, I always like do like 18,900. So you should just be taking note about this region here, okay? And one of the things I always asked of my students, all right, is that you only short when after price had retraced. That means it must retrace upward first to a resistance, and then you're looking for bearish opportunity. All right, I discourage any breakout trade. Okay, so same thing, right? For example, previously when I mentioned about Nasdaq, so at the resistance here, so this was, for example, was a support to a resistance, right? And it did retrace somewhere around here, and the retracement is a better place to go for a bearish or sell opportunity. Okay, same thing, I think that we should be looking for a bit of a bearish movement if there is any here around at the 18,900 level. Okay, so broadly, okay, Nasdaq trend is still up. Okay, if you take a look at this low and this being a higher low, but it is showing a little bit of a weakness here because it doesn't move above the previous high. In fact, that it is showing a lower high as versus to the previous high. So this is the lower high as versus the previous high. My own estimation is that if price is to close below this level here, okay, so I'm just going to remove this line here, right? Okay, so if price is to close below this previous high, all right, and this low, which is right now acting as a support level, that means if price is to close below 18,300 level, okay, then we should and likely going to see price at least move towards the 17,000 region, okay, plus minus around this region here. I'm talking about a whole chunk of a support around here, right? And of course, it doesn't look very good if the 17,000 plus minus, that means this region is broken. Okay, so we will do levels by levels, and I'll update you again during the October session. All right. Okay. Any question for Nasdaq for now? Okay, don't have, huh? Well, the next one I'm going to talk about is euro. Okay, but I just going to just do euro briefly. Okay, so euro, last session I was talking about these two horizontal levels here. All right, and then where these two horizontal levels, right, came from. It came from by looking at the past. Okay, we saw that this was the one of the high, but really this region here, all right, was a very key zone of a resistance. Okay, so what happened during the NFP was that price pushed up, okay, right into the region which is the resistance, and then right now it's actually heading back down. Okay, so what I did was I had a short right inside here because it was, you know, to me in the resistance level. All right, but at this moment, right, it is in a support. So whether this support, right, will be broken or not, okay, it really depends on the FOMC. As I said, as I mentioned, dollar index is right now in a double bottom. Okay, so if dollar is to continue to go up, then euro is likely going to be going down. Okay, I'll answer the Nasdaq question later on. Okay, because whether it is an uptrend or downtrend, it's really depending on perspective. Okay, I'll explain the way that I usually explain to my student, and I hope that you can get a better idea here. Okay, because there's a difference between whether you are doing a short-term trade or whether you're doing a longer-term trade. Okay, now so in this case here, do watch out for euro. Okay, if it does close below 1.10, which is a round number support here. Okay, why do I say 1.10? Because if it's below this horizontal level, all right, then like Nasdaq, it will form a reversal pattern. Okay, so what do I mean by reversal pattern? That means that this in itself is an uptrend. See that? But a trend would reverse. Okay, the trend will reverse, right? And what are the signs of a reversal? Is where they first form a high and a lower high. That means the high is not able to surpass the previous high. So this is the sign where it is a weakness. That means the lower high is a weakness here. Okay, it's probably easier if you switch this into a line chart to see, right? So this is a high and this is a lower high, right? But if it breaks the support, then this is a confirmation that this uptrend here, right? It will reverse, okay? Or rather, it's gonna reverse this uptrend if the support is broken. So we are trading on a known resistance here for a reversal of this short-term uptrend here for euro, okay? Which I am thinking that if price should close below 1.10, then we should be looking and likely to be looking at around this region here as the support level, which is about 1.09-ish level. So this gives us an opening of about 100 pips, right? But it does how to say, give us to the first opening of a short in euro and potentially for a long in the dollar pairs. All right, so you can see similarity in other dollar pairs, such as, for example, if I flip to Aussies, all right? So Aussie, it's also right now into the resistance level. So that was a high, all right? And then this is a high point here, right? If you switch this into a line chart, you find that recently Aussie at the resistance level. So this is the resistance level. So that's your resistance, a known resistance here. So it's forming this pattern here. Okay, so this is a chart pattern called head and shoulder pattern. So this is your left shoulder, this is your head, and this is your right shoulder. And at the same time, there's another one more biggish one, the slightly bigger head and shoulder pattern, and that pattern had been broken. So yes, a lot of dollar pairs are showing a possible reversal with an indication that the dollar is going to strengthen. Okay, so same thing, I'm looking at potential opportunity, which is a bearish opportunity to trade into Aussie. And then we are trading the range, all right? Range is that if we are taking a short at around this level here, that means we're taking a bearish stand at the resistance level here, then you'll be probably looking at a support, right, at this low point here, which could essentially means that this is your range, okay? A possible target level for a short to come to. Okay, all right. So a few dollar pairs to look at apart from Aussie and Euro. The other one is actually Kiwi. Okay, same thing, right? I want to point out Kiwi also having the same pattern. We have a horizontal level here, horizontal resistance, as well at the horizontal resistance, we have a head and shoulder pattern here. See that? That's your shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder. Now, this is a reversal pattern. What is the meaning of reversal pattern? It means that this is an uptrend here, but with the head and shoulder pattern, it is likely to point that the uptrend is going to reverse. So what uptrend is going to reverse? Not the major uptrend is going to reverse, all right, but that this uptrend is going to reverse, and probably it might just move into a ranging situation. So this will be your support, and then this will be the resistance, and we are talking this whole gap, not gap, but distance as your range. Okay, all right, so with this understanding, let's go back right into Nasdaq to answer the question. Okay, now I see. In my earlier session, the last session, I already said Nasdaq is an uptrend. Okay, you see, I'm right now at the weekly chart. Okay, and it is in an uptrend. So I mean, to easily define what is an uptrend, take a look at the moving averages. It is an uptrend. Okay, but if you want to take a look at the swing high, swing low, all right, then this is a low, this is a high. So this is a higher low as you compare to the previous low, and then this one is a higher high and a higher high. And then this is still a higher low, higher low. So yes, it is still an uptrend. Okay, however, the uptrend in another time frame, okay, that means that in a shorter time frame is showing sign of a possible reversal. Okay, what is a possible reversal? Let me just explain this. Okay, so previously, when I was talking about a short in Nasdaq, that means a bit of a bearish news in Nasdaq, right? So that was the head and shoulder pattern. Okay, at that point of time, so Nasdaq had a break of that head and shoulder pattern. It retraced to the level of the head and shoulder pattern and then moved back down. Okay, so what happened was that last week, right, Nasdaq again, okay, if we trace to that head and shoulder pattern, okay, it's showing weakness. Okay, so my explanation was that yes, it is an uptrend. Okay, at that point of time last week, I said, but if the high is denoted by 10, okay, and the low is by 1, I asked, last week participants, where is this level here? Is it likely to be 7 or 8, or is it likely to be 1 or 2, or 2 or 3? What do you think? Around this level here, but if this is 10 and then this is 1, what is likely to be this level here? What's the number? Make a guess. And let me know in the chat. Are you waiting? Yeah, 8. Okay. So it just doesn't make sense, all right, to be looking to a long to buy, right? Okay. Because then we are talking about the probability of going long here as a little bit slightly lower. You want to choose to go long around here, right? Hence that it's like a short-term trade where you say that if it's at the high, then I'm just going to short it down. Okay, then of course, right, we don't just randomly short it down. Okay, to say we can't say that it is a high, we randomly short it down. But there was a basis. The basis was that, okay, this was a resistance level that we've seen, so it's near to the resistance, and we wait for in itself a reversal pattern. Okay, to reverse what? This reversal pattern will reverse this upward move. Okay, to say that this upward move is no longer true. All right, one reason is it met with a resistance. The second reason is that it's shown a reversal pattern. So you sell to sell it down here, all right, to temporary profit from it. But when we are around here, then we might be, depending on situation, be looking at opportunity to go long. Okay. Now at this moment, right, yes, it is still in an uptrend. So I have to admit that because of it traveling down here, maybe to here, right? Maybe I don't know, maybe here also or here also, right? But in the short term, in the near term, it is forming a downward movement. What is a downward movement, right? In the near term, right? It is showing a downtrend. For example, this is a high, this is a low, this is a lower high, right? And this one here is a lower low. So when it goes back up here, all right, if it does form a bearish signal, it does form a lower low, a lower high as compared to the previous high, then it gives us the opportunity to continue this temporary downward movement. And of course, with the moving averages indicating that, it's forming some form of the resistance, then I think that we are doing for short-term price movement. Okay, so do we wait for weekly chart to form lower low to confirm the reversal trend? Now, if you do that, right, you are likely to be more like a longer term trader. So for me, if I'm trading the swing, okay, what do I mean by trading a swing? Right? That means I'm trading from here to here, okay? Or I'm likely to be trading from here to here, right? Then I wouldn't do that because every which chart time frame that you are using, all right, really depends on your target objective. Okay, if you are trading the swing, and for this session we talk about trading, okay, not investing, right? Then I will use the weekly chart to look for levels. Okay, so for example, I'll flip to the weekly chart, all right, to look for key levels. Okay, what are the key levels here? So for example, the weekly chart here is a key level here, right? See that, it had a high point here, it had a low point here, that's why at this point here, right, it is stopping, pausing, and market is reacting to it. All right, so I will look at the key levels, right? But if I look at if I go to look for a pattern in the weekly chart, it will be too slow. Okay, so once I've gotten the level, I will go to the daily chart to look for patterns, all right, to see whether there is a chance to buy here, right? Okay, but again, that you do want to balance across different trend. Like for example, because the session is crafted really for a little bit of a shorter term trading activity behavior. So, I would be looking at the daily chart to tell me if it ever goes up, I'll be looking for an opportunity to short. Okay, so here would be the levels that I'm monitoring as I mentioned just now. Okay, all right. Well, if you do like to understand about all this time frame interaction, do give a feedback to to Philip, right, and let them know that you are interested in all this interaction. Then perhaps they're gonna work out on some training sessions, etc., to help you on it. Okay, all right. Any other questions? I just quickly just run through just one more last one, right? Just to share with you the trade that I did last week. Okay. And one of the key things that I did last week was actually on the yen pairs. All right. So the yen had a good run. That means the yen strengthened. I shorted the Aussie yen was around here. Okay, so same thing, right? You see, this was a resistance level, so at the high point here, right? So there was a push upwards. Okay, and then after that, right, you move back down. I call this phenomena called wash and rinse. And if you just Google a little bit my name and just Google wash and rinse, right, or the alien wash, you know that I came up with this method as a form of trading. But it's totally legit to trade on the yen pairs, because you see the moving averages was tilting upwards. Okay, so that was upward moving averages, and after that, right, it's like move back down. So when I shorted on the yen pairs, all right, it's near to the top of the moving averages, and at the same time, it's also form a reversal pattern, all right, to this. But what I'm sharing right now is to take a look at the yen pairs, because likely the move, right, is just starting. Okay, you see the overall trend of the yen. Just give me a minute. Okay, you see the overall trend of the yen, right? It's still up. Okay, but what is interesting is that the previous high, okay, that had been broken, that was broken here, all right, they're all unbroken. You see that? So whoever who bought Aussie yen here, right, they're all at a loss. Okay, we call this, they're all being washed and rinsed, right? So when Aussie yen retraces back to these same levels, all right, that becomes a very nice place to short. So in fact, the downtrend for Aussie yen, if you take a look at the weekly chart moving average, it's just starting. Okay, so you can monitor this across the other yen pairs, and the downtrend is still starting. All right, so flip that into the line chart. You see this was a low, okay, a high, and then you have a higher high, and this one is a higher low, right? But you see this point here is forming a lower low, so the trend had reversed already. So we are waiting for price to move up, okay, to move up again, all right, for a continuation of actually coming down. Okay, the main starting trend is down, right? But then you see this minor one is being reversed. Okay, so where is the prediction? So under the method that I use, we are able to predict, right, where would be a likely retracement point. So do take note, right, of this level here. Okay, for example, for Aussie yen. But you can take this technique and apply that across the other yen pairs, because a lot of the yen pairs are really looking bearish. Okay, so one of the principle is I like to go into the low-hanging fruits. I think the yen pairs is really looking like low-hanging fruits at this moment. So I do trade into REITs. I do trade into US stocks. But whenever the FX gets so easy, I mean, FX is really my main trading instruments, right? But when FX gets very, very low-hanging fruits. That's where it becomes like very, very interesting. So do take a look at Aussie yen at about 96 and 20-ish level, or 96 level, right? For retracement, and see whether these act as a resistance level. Okay. Uh, Angela, I can answer you this question with the rate coming out. Is it too late to go into REITs? In fact, that I did a video on this one just on REITs about 2 weeks ago. When the REITs were at the low, and I did a video, I did many videos in YouTube videos about REITs as well, and why I think that it's going to reverse. Maybe you want to, I don't have time to talk about it, okay, today, but maybe you just want to Google for that video. Okay, I just launched a REIT video very, very recently. And also I just launched a Nasdaq video to talk about why it should be coming down also very recently. You might just want to have a look. Okay, I don't have time to talk about today. Which time frame should one be trading before one need to know fundamental for the FX pairs? Can I just discuss this next week? Okay, because I know that they will post this into YouTube as well. So if I discuss this, then if you can't join today, the next round, then at least you can watch the rerun. But quickly, it depends really very much on your strategy as well as your trading style. So I'm a 4-hour trader, just to let you know. So what's important is the day time frame and the weekly time frame as key levels and key zone to trade, and to fine tune the trade in H4 and H1, 1 hour and 4 hour. The others are all noises, okay? Because if you talk about truly institutional traders and players, they don't move below too much, okay? What they really take note of is really the day and the week. All right, so I come to the end of the session. I'm sorry I can't continue further because I have another one more session later on at 12:40. I will pass the session back to Sihan so that he can talk to you guys a little bit more. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Binni, for the very engaging and informative session. So, and also for going through the various charting techniques that our audience can use. So, for our audience, we hope you are finding this useful, and we'd like to take the time to share with you one of our marketing campaign. So from now until from now until Christmas, if you open a new CFD account, you'll be entitled to receive one Palantir CFD contract. So this is quite easy to go for. So you just need to be a new to CFD client, open an account, and immediately you'll be entitled to receive one free contract. Palantir is doing very well in market. Just yesterday, it surged 14% in one day. So, and then of course, if you are already actively trading, you can consider going for tier 2 or tier 3, where the free incentive will be even more valuable. So for tier 2, all you need to do is trade $1.5 million in CFD contract, and then you'll be receiving one contract of TSMC. The last trading price was around $162 last night. And if you're very active, you can try for tier 3, and you'll get one Microsoft contract. The last trading price was around $400. Right. So back to our webinar series. So this is part 2 of a 10-part educational series that we are organizing for our clients. So the objective is to impart some trading skills to help you in your trading and investment. So if you are finding this useful, do continue to join us for the coming session. The third session will be next month in October, on the 10th of October, or 10/10. It's on a Thursday, and the timing is also at 12 p.m. So we'll send out the invite in the first week of October. So we hope to see you again. If you are finding this useful, and if there's any feedback, do feel free to share with us. If there's anything you would like to hear in the next session, right? And that's all for today's session. Charmaine, you can take over.